As you can see to the west, there are some clouds. We are all hoping for the best.
Welcome to WatchMojo. And today we're talking about 10 times where concerts were ruined by nature.
Word started to come in that there were some flood warnings.
If you like what you're hearing, be sure to check out the full song at the link below.
Red Rocks Amphitheater, 2023. Any open-air concert in Colorado, USA is liable to closure from bad weather. But this particular event featuring Louis Tomlinson from One Direction went much worse than either the fans or the organizers expected.
Molly and Samantha Cochran still a little traumatized.
Just puts me back to last night. It was really windy, yeah.
After multiple delays, the concert was officially canceled, and everyone was instructed to leave the arena and find shelter. Unfortunately, it was too late. Just 5 minutes later, a tremendous hailstorm began pelting everyone with ice.
And 2 minutes later, it was just hail, all madness.
People huddled wherever they could, some in restrooms, others under improvised shelters made from boxes and trash cans. Many suffered cuts, bruises, and even broken bones.
Did have a broken bone from the hail. They did not fall.
The storm only lasted about 15 minutes, but one concert goer from Florida, who had been through several hurricanes, said it was the scariest 15 minutes of her life. Glastonbury Festival, 2005. The Glastonbury Festival is a summer music event which has been celebrated in Somerset, England since 1970. While England is notorious for rainy weather, the 2005 festival went somewhat beyond that.
5 hours of rain has turned a dusty farm into a quagmire.
After 6 sunny days, a severe thunderstorm suddenly dropped enough rain to flood nearby waterways and leave campsites around the performance area under several feet of water. Some stages and large tents were even struck by lightning.
I can't put a brave face on this one, can I? I mean, I am trying.
Thankfully, no one was hurt, and most fans took the weather in stride. They tromped around in boots and protected valuable items in plastic bags. Soon after the rain cleared up, festival organizers got the stages and sound equipment going again, and the Undertones played Teenage Kicks to a wet but appreciative crowd. Alternative Nation, 1995. Music festivals were hugely popular events in Australia in the 1990s. The creators of Alternative Nation intended their festival to become a regular institution and gathered an incredible lineup of musicians to perform in 3 major cities.
9 Inch Nails, Fake No More, Violent Femmes, Primus, Ice-T and Body Count, Tool, L7.
Yet after one attempt, the idea was abandoned. Why? Well, there were multiple reasons for this epic failure, but the weather certainly didn't help. In Melbourne, fans waiting to buy tickets developed hypothermia after hours of standing in the rain.
It's Melbourne. You just wake up every day and you have no idea what you're going to do.
Last-minute changes and cancellations due to bad weather in Brisbane left music lovers wandering around soggy and confused. Worst of all, the rain turned Sydney's Eastern Creek Raceway into a treacherous mud pit, and disgruntled fans vented their frustration by throwing gobs of mud at the performers.
Alternative Nation, Eastern Creek Raceway, Easter Saturday, presented by Triple M.
Phish Camp Out Concert, 2019. For this ruined concert, we returned to Colorado, but not because of bad weather. As its name suggests, this event was supposed to happen outdoors, with fans camping out in tents overnight. Unfortunately, the entire area had to be closed off because of prairie dogs nearby who had bubonic plague.
So this here is a prairie dog hole. We have our insecticide here. Basically, we just give it a good squirt down in there.
Yes, the same plague that killed millions of people during the Middle Ages. While no humans had been infected, authorities worried that fleas from the prairie dogs might end up hitching a ride on people or their pets, spreading the disease further.
For humans, the symptoms, the incubation period from when you get it to when you show symptoms are usually 1 to 6 days.
Phish fans still got their concert, minus the camping out, which seems like a pretty good deal under the circumstances. Certainly better than catching the plague. Chateau Deportes, 2001. Although there were multiple storm warnings that night for the Alsace region of France, officials would later describe this concert tragedy as an unpredictable twist of fate. And that's not too big of a stretch. Fans were enjoying Yiddish folk music in an outdoor venue when the storm hit. They left their bleacher seats and crowded under a large tent for shelter. But this was no ordinary thunderstorm. The strong wind, including gusts over 90 miles an hour, actually uprooted a large plane tree. It toppled onto the tent, crushing everyone beneath it. Emergency crews worked for hours to remove the tree and get everybody out, but it was too late for some. 11 people were killed and over 80 injured. Sled Island Festival, 2013. The Sled Island Festival is a huge music event held every summer in Calgary, Canada. Unfortunately, in 2013, it was featured in the news primarily for its association with a different incident, the Alberta floods.
Being a festival that takes place over 38 venues, you never imagine having to cancel 38 different venues worth of shows.
Unusually heavy rainfall over a short period of time caused rivers to overflow and reach record heights. It was one of the worst natural disasters ever seen in that province. The festival had 2 good days, but then had to cancel everything, pack up, and leave, along with the residents of more than 30 towns, whose houses and roads were underwater.
By the end of the night, over half of our venues were fully evacuated and shut down, and every other one was basically on call.
The Sled Island website asked fans to be patient about getting ticket and pass refunds, as their Calgary office was also underwater.
I think when people find other people who respect music and talk about it passionately and try and do the right thing, they stick together.
PPOP, 2011. In previous entries, we've mentioned heavy rain, strong wind, and pelting hail. This event had all of them.
Please exit the tent.
The annual PPOP Music Festival in Belgium is one of Europe's largest outdoor gatherings, and in 2011, around 60,000 people attended. According to their statements afterwards, the weather seemed fine. No one expected the sudden change as the sky turned black, winds rose, and hail began to fall. For the next 10 minutes, chaos reigned. People outside were hit with hail and flying debris, while those in tents found themselves trapped when their shelters collapsed. The storm was brief, but it left destruction in its wake that was worthy of a disaster movie. 5 people were killed and many more injured. Curtis Mayfield, 1990. Curtis Mayfield was a soul and funk artist who was known for both his popular songs and his more serious works about racial discrimination in the U.S.
I'm your pusher man.
In August of 1990, Mayfield was about to perform an outdoor concert arranged by New York Senator Martin Markowitz. A storm was brewing and Markowitz was in a hurry to beat the rain. However, he probably should have realized it was a bad idea when a gust of wind cut off his microphone mid-introduction. As Mayfield stepped onto the stage, an even stronger gust rattled the overhead lighting equipment, and it fell.
Strong wind shook loose the lighting rig above him. It fell on Curtis, breaking 3 of his vertebrae.
Mayfield was struck in the back of his head by a heavy rig. He survived, but had paralysis from the neck down for the rest of his life.
And even after it happened, I guess the first thing set in was, this is a crisis. The important thing is that I don't allow myself to die, and be strong and let nature take its course.
Kings of Leon, 2010. Kings of Leon was the headline act for a July concert in Missouri at the open-air Verizon Amphitheater.
They played 3 songs, and now they just announced that they're quitting.
As they got ready to go on stage, they were alarmed to see that the 2 opening acts looked a bit worse for wear. Members of both bands were streaked with white pigeon droppings. Despite some understandable concern, Kings of Leon took the stage and gamely began to play. They made it through 2 songs, however, when a splat of dung landed on the bass's face near the beginning of the 3rd. The band decided to quit.
I do apologize. Situation's beyond our control.
So with the musicians gone, the audience confused and upset, the pigeons were left the victors of the field.
Ironically, they're chanting the wrong kind of
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Indiana State Fair, 2011. Our last entry features one of the most famous concert disasters in the United States.
In an instant, a strong gust of wind led to tragedy.
A large audience had gathered in Indianapolis to see the famed country music duo Sugarland. Thunderstorms were predicted to reach the area, but not until after the concert began. So no one was too worried at first.
But that all changed in a matter of seconds.
What the people in charge may not have realized is that dangerous wind conditions often arrive before the actual storm. Sugarland never made it to the stage. The huge structure buckled under the 50-mile-an-hour wind and collapsed onto the audience. 7 people were killed and over 50 injured. Although this event inspired better safety regulations in fairs across the country, it was a tragic reminder never to underestimate the power of nature.
Just came down and you saw people running and people, next thing you know, you look back and there's people underneath the stage trying to get out.
Have you ever had a fraught concert experience? Tell us in the comments.
This is the rainiest rain show that ever rain showed. Ever, ever, ever.
If you're a fan of the song playing right now, be sure to check out the music video for it right here.